Well, Danny, the away form comes to an end with a disappointing defeat at Barnet today.
Yeah, look, it was. The message was clear all week leading up to the game, and even in the dressing room beforehand. If you think you're going to just turn up and beat this side because of the form they had been in, then you're going to get in for a rude awakening, because the new managers come in, they've organised them, they've got a style of football that suits their players, and I think we played into their hands, and if I'm honest, we got exactly what we deserved today.
Because we were unchanged from the side that beat Weymouth on Tuesday night. You know, a lot of players, like you say, would have redeemed their place in the starting lineup, but maybe, particularly in the second half, they didn't really live up to those expectations today.
Yeah, I've seen the people have commented on the sort of the Jekyll and Hyde kind of team that we've got, and it's hard to argue against it when you see a performance like that, because we have been in relatively good form. We've been playing well, we've been creating chances, we've looked assured at the back, and everything that we've been about kind of went out the window today. And it's hard to put a finger on it, because you can't say we changed the shape, because we didn't. We can't say we changed the personnel, because we didn't. The build up to the game was no different than what we have done the last 4 games. So you look at the lads, and you can't make excuses for them. It just wasn't good enough. And fair play to Barnet and their players and the staff. They thoroughly deserved their win.
It seemed a good start from us. You know, we've seen the team on the front foot and everything, but it was a bit of a sucker punch to go down the other end. A great cross from there, right back into Hooper to head it in. Yeah,
look, I think that little passage of play that led to the goal, if you watch it, comes from us. We turn over possession on the halfway line, trying to do something that we haven't been doing. We haven't been taking any risks in those areas. The second goal comes from us, because we have confusion between the keeper and the centre half, and then George doesn't need to make a tackle. He's going to the byline, he's going nowhere. Let him put the cross in. You can't challenge players in the box like that. So we gifted the second goal. I mean, I'm not worried about the third goal. We're going for the equaliser, and we were always going to be vulnerable for that. But the 2 goals we did concede, they were. I mean, they took them well, but they're gifts, and you can't. We've stopped doing that, and obviously it's quite sad to see that back in today, because I genuinely thought that we could come here, win the form that we're in, and definitely not come away empty-handed.
I think that was the point, isn't it? Because we've come in with all this momentum, 3 away wins in a row. You know, we're the team expected to win, and ultimately it's disappointing to lose in the way we have done, and to sort of, like you say, go back on the way we were doing beforehand.
Yeah, the message was simple all week. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Keep asserting the fundamentals that we've put in place. Just keep that consistency of making those decisions in the right places. And you looked across the pitch, and every single player at some point you're going, why did you do that? But they have been very, very good recently. So listen, if this performance carries on to the rest of the season, then we've got some major issues. But the bottom line with this lot is we have to get them in. They have been in good form, which can't be taken away from them. And one thing I know about this group of players, they haven't walked out on the pitch today to do it on purpose. They've not thought, oh, the sun's out, let's just have a nice stroll around the park. It's not been the mentality around the team all season. It just so happens that we seem to be this team that when one player's slightly off it, we all seem to be off it. And that's something we've got to try and address.
And what do we do to try and address that? What's the best way of doing it?
We just keep going back to what we've been doing that's got us success, and just focusing on making those decisions. And I think you look at some of the areas that led to either goals or chances today, there's a lack of communication at times between the boys, which has been very good the last 4 or 5 games. So look, it's as I always say, we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's just really disappointing, the level of the performance, but that's taking nothing away from Barnet. They deserve their win today.
Exactly that. You know, they were organised and everything, and you know, from our fans' perspective, it was disappointing for them, because we've gone into the game, you know, full of confidence, 3 away wins, and we were hoping that, you know, if we were to get results today, it could really see us pushed right up there into the playoff places potentially.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about. Everyone keeps talking about playoffs. We need to make progress on next season, on last season, which we've done. We've ticked that box. I don't want, as I said to everyone, we don't want to discuss it in the dressing room. We don't want it in the office. We don't want to talk about playoffs. Each game has to be taken in isolation. Today was about 3 points, and we haven't got it today. So now they've got to make sure on Tuesday when we play King Clean, that's about 3 points, and put those points on the board. Now, wherever we end up at the end of the season, that will be a consequence of what we've done now. So. I'm not, as I said, I'm not interested in talking about that.
And Kings Lynn, a new test for you in this league, and first time they play them at home. What's your thoughts on that game?
Well, it's an interesting one, because they've got a real fluid team, in the sense of they change formation at will. They change personnel all the time, so you're not really sure what you're playing against. But I think we need to focus more on us and eradicating the silly things that we did today. And like we say, and like everyone always says about us, when we're at the races, it doesn't matter who comes against us. We fancy ourselves to get the 3 points.
Are you in the shop? Sign up below.
Click here for the next video, click here to subscribe.